Hey y'all, welcome back to Chatting with Coach Amy. Today I'm with group client Kelli B, right? You're Kelli B, yeah. I was like, oh no. So Kelli, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My husband is a camp director, so we've always lived and worked on summer camps. We started out in Pennsylvania at a camp that ministered to military officers and their families.
Wow.
It was a wonderful place to start right out of college. We had our first 3 girls living in Pennsylvania there. And then my husband did church ministry for a while as he pursued a seminary degree. And then we went back into camping in California. We were in San Diego. And that was a super fun place to live. And now here we are in Lake Lure, North Carolina. And at our 3rd camp.
And what's it called?
It's called Camp Lure Crest. It's a summer kids camp for 3rd through seniors.
Okay. We, my daughter Katie has alopecia.
Yes.
And so we did a camp for families with children that have alopecia at Camp Kirkwood in North Carolina. Do you know where that is? It's near Wilmington, because we went to the Wilmington beach. So I know North Carolina is a big state. But anyway, we did that I had just started THM and Knox was not walking. So that had to been 2017. We did that. That was really fun navigating eating there.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
me and one of the other moms, we went to the little chef lady and we were like, we love you. You're amazing. But if we go to the grocery store, can we put some things in the refrigerator? And she was like, I could tell she wasn't very happy about it, but I'm like, I'm starving. Like, I gotta have some food.
We do that for campers all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think so many people with special food needs, like, it is important for me to eat on plan, but I'm not going to die, if I have certain things. But anyway, there were some children that had severe allergies, and it was family camp. So it was mamas that were like, look, blah, blah, blah. It was a little different than dropping your child off. So are you in charge of things at the camp, or do you just support your husband and take care of your people?
Yep. I just support my husband and take care of the people. I do a little bit of mentoring in the summer for some of the college age girls. And we have about 100 summer staff. I think this summer we had 108, and they're all college age. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I love it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And 3 of my daughters were on staff this summer. So.
Oh, okay. So how many kids do y'all have?
We have 4 kids. Faith Lynn is our oldest. She also struggles with alopecia. She just has small spots that are stress related right now. So we're super grateful for that. She is at College of the Ozarks. She's a junior. And my second daughter, Elise, will be a freshman with her hours. She'll be a junior, but she'll be a freshman at College of the Ozarks in January. She's got January acceptance. And then I have a senior, Olivia, and Judson, our baby, is a freshman this year.
Wow. In high school.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Yep. That's something. So you had 3 girls and then that boy.
Sure did. Yep. And I would have kept having them.
Oh, I hear you. That was the hardest. One of the hardest days of my life was that hysterectomy, girlfriend. I'm gonna tell you, I cried all the way to that OR. Wes was like, I didn't know what to do with you. It was bad. Oh, but I had to have it, I guess. Ugh, I roll. Okay. And so how long have y'all been married?
This, let's see, it's 22. So it'll be 23 years in December.
Okay. Yeah. A couple years ahead of us. Awesome. Awesome. Where'd y'all meet?
We met in college. This is a crazy story, or silly, I don't know. We both did a drama group that was called The Love Company.
Okay.
And there was a no dating rule. So naturally, about 4 couples ended up getting married from that. So
of course.
That's where we met.
I love it. That's sweet though. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. So tell us, and how old are you? I forgot.
I'm 43.
I don't know if we said that or not. Okay. 43. Awesome. 43, married half that time, and 4 kids. Busy, busy, busy. Oh, mercy. Lots of things. I'm sure lots of emotions too with the girls.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I mean, I could talk for hours about that. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So let's go to the beginning of your Trim Healthy Mama journey. How did you find out about THM?
So at our camp in California, some of the staff wives, there was about 14 families on staff at that camp. And some of the staff wives were wanting to do kind of a Bible study health thing together. And so we all ordered the original THM book.
Yeah.
So
the
gigantic.
White Bible.
Yes, it was so gigantic. We all looked at it and we were like, no, I don't think we can do this. So I think I even sent mine back. I don't think at the time, I don't think I even kept it. So, but then I started doing some research into it. I found it online, Facebook, and I had yo-yo diet. I mean, I gain 20 pounds, lose 10, for as long as I can remember since babies, and started doing some research, and it just made sense.
Yeah.
And so I toyed with it and continued the yo-yo until about 2020, I guess, during COVID, when everybody gained weight. I definitely gained some more, and I thought, I'm done with this. I can't do this. I just want to be healthy. So I hired a coach, not you, and lost my first probably 20 pounds and didn't see any considerable weight loss after that, but continued with it. I was very faithful. And then got around to my trim-anniversary, and I was like, I'm just not doing anything. Nothing's happening. Yeah. So I need some more help. And so I'd been following you on Facebook, and you're just so relatable. I tell my sister I'm trying to get her involved too, and I think she's close. Okay. But
shout out to sister. Come on.
That's right. I said she's somebody that we'd be friends with. You. So that's what made me want to follow you. And so then I joined Buds, and now I'm in Blooms.
When did you join Buds? Do you remember?
I think it was winter. It was February or March, whichever.
This year?
Yeah. This year.
Feels like you've been around forever. You're one of those. It feels like you've just always been here. Yeah. Very good. Okay. So you did winter Buds. So coming right out of the holidays and everything. I'm sure things were frustrating and all that, I'm sure. So what do you think changed the most for you during that time?
During which time?
With Buds, when things kind of turned the corner and everything. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, I had a pretty strong understanding of the plan, but there's always more we can do. I think, there's always more that you can learn. And I think I knew I needed to be eating vegetables, but your challenges just really helped me see the difference that those things could make. And when I started losing inches again, I could see a difference, which I hadn't for about a year. I hadn't noticed any change, any difference. And so when I started doing some of those challenges, I started seeing a difference, even if it wasn't on the scale. And I just knew, well, you just have to keep trying things. You just have to keep, like in anything, you have to go to the next level, next level, and so the next level for me right now is dairy-free. And
that's fun. So Kelly won a free call with me in one of the challenges. I hope it wasn't in that winter Buds. I think it was in Blooms. I don't know when it was, but anyway, whenever it was that she joined, she won, was it was scheduled, and then it turned out that she kind of forgot about it, which is fine. It happens, man. It happens. And she was like, Coach Amy, I can talk to you for a minute. We're about to take my baby to the airport, and this is not a good time. I'm like, yeah, girl, it's all right. We'll reschedule. And so we never connected. And then I noticed her post somewhere in Blooms at one point that camp was over. And I'm like, I'm going to email her. So it went on my list of many things to do. And it stays with me all the time. But I emailed her, and she's like, oh, thank you so much. And so we did talk. And it was just a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, that we talked finally. And I just laid out some things after listening to all of her desires and her struggles, and it's working.
It is.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So I made her, like, off the cuff share in Blooms the other night, but I would love to hear your side of that and how that's going and what you're implementing to see these changes.
Sure. Some of the things that you recommended to me were to obviously be dairy free, but then you also recommended quinoa every day to help with inflammation, and greens every day, and turmeric pills, all 3 of those to really help with inflammation and gut health. And then I just knew also that okra helps with that too. So I threw that in there, and
why not, man?
yeah. And it's it gets a little repetitive. I don't know that I can do it every day for the rest of my life, but right now it keeps me centered, and it helps me remember. Well, it just makes it, if you know exactly what you're focusing on, it makes it a little easier to stay focused, for me anyway,
Sure.
because it narrows what I can eat. And for right now, when I'm really focused, that helps, instead of having 8 million different recipes I can choose from. And I found some new recipes that I really love. So it's been fun.
Good, good. Yeah, that's the whole premise of my cooking out of one cookbook a week. I got really, even before I became a coach, I've always done a meal plan, always. I mean, most of the time, but it's something I've always done. But I needed a plan. I needed to know what was going on, because otherwise I wouldn't have what I needed to cook for my people, and I have to feed them, And back in the day, and even now with prices of things, I mean, you just can't go out to eat all the time. Heavens. And then you just get tired of that. So, I was like, well, instead of choosing from the bajillion recipes that are out there through THM, and then, just making up your own, I have a list of simple meals, which you've seen. And so I'll pull from that for 1 week, and then I'll go THC, THT, THF. And sometimes I'll do some random stuff, like we'll do a theme week or different things like that, which are fun. But for the most part, I have to have that. And so I love what you said about having that focus. That is really good, narrowing that down. And it helps you not be as overwhelmed, because if you're doing those things, you're automatically going to be on plan. You're probably going to pay attention to your timing better, and your water, that kind of thing. And so it kind of just all works together.
Yeah. And that's what your challenges did for me too, because it was much smaller focus, but it helped me realize that just having one thing to focus on makes the other things not feel quite so much.
Yeah.
So heavy.
That's right. That's right. How about accountability? How has that played a part in your being successful with THM?
Well, I have a friend, staff wife, that is also a THMer. And so that's been really nice, but I am not much of a share with people in person about this kind of person. So Blooms, the accountability on Blooms, just having people that I know are going to see my menu or my meals for the day, that has helped me a lot. And I've realized that if I don't do that for a couple of days, I'm much more likely to slip, to start, well, this doesn't matter. But so it really does help me in Blooms to have everybody seeing my meals every day. And I really have to stay focused on that. I don't do pictures. I just write it out.
Yeah.
Because I forget. I just eat and then I forget.
Yeah. Yeah. I have some new one-on-ones this session, and they're like, how do you get a picture of everything? I said, I've been doing this for almost 6 years. It's just what I do.
Right.
And if you're not used to that, it is going to be a little weird, so, but you're one-on-one, and I really need to see what you're eating. You have to use this. It would really be great. So anyway, yeah. And I like in coaching that I can give you guys the option of how you want to roll that. And there are some that don't use it. Like when I do review, the evaluation for buds I have, was such and such helpful, or did you not utilize it? I used to have was this helpful, like in a range of like 4 things, and all that left was me with hurt feelings. And so I just went to, did it help, or did you just not use it? If there's anything in between or outside of that, I don't want to know. And so usually everybody marks accountability that it was helpful, but sometimes people don't use it, and that's okay. I'm going to let you guess. What is the most picked of did not utilize? What do you think? Out of buds? What would you think? You probably would do better if you knew all the options.
Would it be the tracking? That's what I utilize the least.
That's funny. The menu. The
really?
weekly menu. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I love looking at the menu.
Well, thank you.
And I love watching your the cooking videos.
Yeah.
I love them.
Thanks. Even when they're 80% hot mess.
Absolutely. It's so relatable. That's what I love about it. And that's what I tell my sister. Like, you've got to watch Amy because she'll make you feel like it's something you can do because it's real.
Yeah. I had a random person, I don't know how they found it, but my glazed crumb cake video where it was a rotten egg.
Oh, I missed that one. I've read about it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so funny. It was a live in the kitchen in group coaching last year. And I pulled that part out of it. Southern is barking at somebody. So sorry, y'all. But anyway, yeah. So I cracked it and it was a bad egg and it went in the whole thing, like where all the ingredients were. It is so, now that I watch, I mean, I was almost in tears. But I just scooped it out. And one of the ladies in there, she was like, just scoop it out and go with it. And I went, I'm scooping it out and going with it. And it'll be fine. But oh my gosh, so funny. You never know what you're going to get with Amy.
That's why I love it. It feels like I'm just there with you in the kitchen and we're just, doing life. So
yeah. Yeah. And I know like some people don't like group because it is big and they feel like they get lost. But I have a hard time with that because there's so many more that say, it's fine. Like if I need you, I ask you the question, you answer it. So it's just different for each person and that's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And all coaches are different. I mean,
they are. Yeah.
I've had a different coach before and, sometimes you just have to find somebody that is most relatable to you.
That's right. That's right. I am not everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. Southern is not happy. Can you hear him? Oh, y'all, he is huge. I had to pick him up to put him in the bathtub yesterday. And I lift weights, y'all. I can deadlift like 230 pounds. And it was like my heart rate dropped when I had to pick him up. Oh my gosh, he's huge. He's got to be getting to be about 90 pounds, I would say. He did not want to get in that bathtub. So I was also wrestling with him, but it's fine. He's clean. It worked out. He does jump out of the tub as I ask. So let's talk about cooking for your family. How does that work for you guys?
For the most part, everybody cooks their own food until dinner. My kids are older.
Amen. That is
absolutely.
What I do.
Yes. Even when I was homeschooling, I homeschooled for 8 years. And even then, breakfast and lunch was kind of everybody take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. And I would make sure that I had things that they wanted that were quick that they could do. But that's pretty much how we handle it. And then they eat whatever I make for dinner. And it's always THM friendly. And like your menus, I will add something to make it a crossover for them. Yeah. But I just make one meal that everybody eats. And then I cook my own food and if they want what I'm having, I'll make more for them, but they don't usually.
Yeah.
Because no one is really on plan with me, which is okay. Yeah. It works.
Yeah. So do y'all sit down and have family supper?
Most nights we do, but I have 2 kids in high school doing sports and church and camp stuff. So when we can, we do. We have a lot of other college age staff that are on camp during the year. And so we cook for them a lot too and have other staff over. So it's a revolving door around here. We have I cook for a lot of people a lot of times.
Do you feel like you're in the kitchen a lot?
No. I mean, I think I did in the beginning. And if I did, I don't do a lot of baking.
Okay.
Because I can't afford to buy all of the things. So I do things with super sweet mainly because it lasts so long because you don't need as much. Yeah. But I mean, it comes in fits and spurts. Sometimes I do a lot of baking and that's when I feel like I'm in the kitchen a lot. Yeah. But
girl, I was getting after it yesterday. Let me tell you what I did. Did you listen to the video this morning? If you listened to it.
I missed it.
That's okay. It's all right. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So I got in the kitchen. I try to get done with work around 3:30 or 4 on Tuesdays. just because I need to do that for my people. And so the girls don't have dance on Tuesday, so they're home. So I like to cook dinner. So I did the chicken parm or parmy or whatever it is. And it was on the menu for this week. And so I got that going. And then I'm like, okay, so I had already tried to prep quinoa earlier that day. And
I did see this. This was this morning from CrossFit. Yes, I did see this.
Yeah. So it's in my VIP group, everyone. I go live when I'm on my way home from CrossFit. Don't tell people that don't want you to drive and video yourself at the same time. I can multitask. It's fine. I've been doing it for a year. Anyhow, so I burned the quinoa. And so I thought, you know what? While I'm in the kitchen, paying attention to kitchen things, I will prep quinoa. And so I did. And I also made singing canary mix. And while I'm in the middle of it, I'm like, I don't have turmeric. And so I sent one of the boys to my mom's, who lives in our backyard, my mom and dad, to get me turmeric. And then Bella's like, Nanny's coming over here. She must have something else or whatever. She had given camp turmeric peels for me to open up to do my canary stuff. And then she found the turmeric in a jar. So we traded those out. And then Bella was like, what are y'all doing? We have turmeric and you have singing canary mix already made.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, oh, got to be kidding me, because I have been trying for the last couple of weeks to get this done, the canary and the quinoa. And so I haven't been having canaries because I didn't know I had canary mix.
How funny.
Everyone learn from my mistake and go check all your things. But anyway, so, and all I'm doing with that canary mix, I just pull the powders off that list and just put it in there. It's roughly about a tablespoon that you need in your individual drinks. And I do about 10 at a time. And then I just add lemon juice. I don't measure it. I don't know. And then ice water and just go about my business. It's really not that big a deal.
Yep.
But I also cut up my papaya and I harvested the seeds and I got all that in the freezer. And it seemed like I did something else, but it's escaping me now. But that was plenty. I was so proud of myself for doing that.
That's amazing.
Things I have been putting off for a long time. And why do I do that? I don't know, but I did.
I like to do my quinoa in my Instant Pot.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It's so fast.
Yep. How much do you make at a time?
I do that whole package, the same package that you use.
Yeah.
Ancient Grains or what, I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, I just put it all in. I do it all at once. And then I freeze packages, like sandwich bags with 1 cup, 3/4 cup.
Smart. How much water do you put in there?
I think it said 2 cups and 2 1/4 cups.
Okay. Very good.
For the Instant Pot. And it just turns out, I mean, it's perfect every time.
Do you have a rice button on yours or do you do 10 minutes or what?
I do manual for 3 minutes.
Okay.
So it might take around, I don't know. I can just start it and then take a shower and then come back and it's done, and then you do the manual release for a little bit. I can't remember, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah. Very good. That's awesome. So what are you using quinoa in? What are some things you're making with quinoa?
My main thing is usually just a breakfast bowl. I'll put cherries or some kind of fruit in it. I like to put peanut flour in it.
Yeah.
And sweetener, and then whatever fruit I'm feeling. And then I love the cherries on top salad.
Okay.
It's another way to use it. And I've been making a lot of quinoa salad with cucumbers, and I think Coach Canada made a video recently, but I've been making that and just put some protein in it.
Yeah. I made that quinoa salad when we had the client trip to the beach, and a bunch of them had never had it before. And, I made like double because there was so many of us. And Jennifer was like, do you think they're going to eat this? And I said, well, if they don't, I will. My gracious, this is the best thing ever. They're crazy.
So
yeah. And I had Sam's canned chicken, like the 8-pack, and because you can get, it says 3 or 4 servings. I use half a can when I use it. That's just me. But it's so good. It was so easy. And one of the girls, she was like, this is so simple. Like I never would have thought that how good this would be and how easy. And I'm like, yeah, girl, if it's not easy, I'm probably not going to make it.
And I usually put it on spinach. So I knock out 2 in one. I get my leafy greens and my quinoa in one go.
That's right. Amen. I love that. I also like to do like a Mexican type flavor, taco-y flavor, I guess, with quinoa and some beans. And like we use the venison, of course, which is already lean. Oh, so good.
Isn't there a quinoa goes Cajun recipe?
Yes.
I have that on my list to look up. So
yeah, so it's got some chili powder and it's chicken, and then you also do like a red bean with it. So good. I do not know if it's in cookbook or table. I don't know which one, but it's super good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so what are your kind of your go-tos for snacks?
Snacks have always been my number one struggle. And especially now that I can't do dairy, because it used to just be like a yogurt, a Too Good yogurt, because that was a fuel pool. Now it really just depends, but I found that since I've been dairy free right now, it's not super important for me to have a fuel pool snack.
Yeah,
I have a little leeway with that now, but I've been doing a lot of deli meat, celery and almond butter. I don't really have a go-to. Snacks are hard for me. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, there's just something you can work on. That's good. That's good.
Yep.
Do you exercise?
I do. I love Pilates.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever done Pilates. I should do that.
I don't like to feel like I'm working out.
Okay.
And Pilates is a lot more like stretching to me than actual workout, but then you feel like you've done something, and it only takes about 15 minutes. So
nice. Do you sweat?
Sometimes.
Okay. Because I'm used to just pouring all the sweat.
Yeah, see, I don't like to sweat. I just don't like to.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, our gym is not air conditioned. I mean, the doors are open. We have fans going. I actually hollered at one of the dudes this morning. I was like, can you turn the fan towards me? He was like, he didn't even say anything because none of us, I could barely speak when I asked him that. And he was like, yeah, thumbs up. It was so hot this morning. I'm like, come on, fall. We had fake fall. Did y'all have fake fall?
We did. We had a couple of days.
What in the world? I'm not happy about it.
It's time.
It is so time. It is the end of September, for heaven's sakes. We're driving 4 hours north this weekend to celebrate our nephew's birthday. Wes's sister lives up there. And usually it's about 10 degrees cooler. It's not.
Oh, no.
I know. It's so sad. But it's going to be okay. It could be worse.
I think it's coming soon, or I'm hoping anyway.
Oh, me too. Me too. Do you have any tips for any newbies out there?
Well, if somebody was asking me what is the most important thing to start with, I would say pick one thing until that feels normal. Then don't try to do it all. So like make sure that you can eat on-plan food.
Yeah.
And then once you get that down, choose the next thing to add on top of it. Because I think what I did for all of those years before I got a coach is I was just trying to do it all. And it was so overwhelming. And having a coach is what helped me both times to realize that I don't have to do everything. I just need to learn how to do one thing at a time.
Right.
And so I would say on-plan food first, and then timing, and then add all that other stuff that comes later.
Yeah. Did you see my post the other day?
Which one?
The THM FOMO one. Did you see
yes. Yes. I was like, yes, thank you. Because
I've been thinking about that for months. And finally the other day I got the gumption, if you will, to just do it. And that picture actually, I sent that to Liz one day for something. I don't even know what for, but when I was thinking about it, I was like, should I make an image? Because oh my goodness, I love creating images on Canva. But I'm like, nope, that selfie that I sent Liz for whatever that was, that's the one I'm using, because it's so true. You don't have to do all that.
Yeah, I will not be making my own kefir.
No, I'm not. And I do think that's wonderful. I actually had explained that to a one-on-one that doesn't have Facebook, and she doesn't listen to the podcast on time. That was one of my things. I love them. They're wonderful. And kefir's wonderful. And making your own is wonderful. I don't want to do that right now.
Right. There's so many great things. Maybe 10 steps down. That's what I'll be working on.
Maybe. And I don't like protein bites, and I don't like meat sticks, and I don't like pickled okra. And I'm not doing that because I don't like them. And you don't like to bake because you don't want to buy the special ingredients. Okay. Good for you. That's fine.
Well, I also don't like to share. So
me either.
If I don't make them, then I don't have to share them.
In my holiday group, I have a post about that. I don't share my things. And Wes, he's so funny. Like Knox will come up to my plate and like he's gonna get a cucumber or something and Wes will say, boy, you don't take food off your mama's plate. Like I'm like Joey on Friends. I don't share food. Like do not. And I made a singing canary last night and Knox like finished the last cup of it. And I didn't know. And I was so sad. I was like, that was mine.
Yes. It's actually something that the Lord has been working on my heart to share my things, my special things. But
oh no, but it's difficult when they eat junk and they're going to eat my stuff that took so much effort to create, and I'm like, no.
And then turn around and eat something that
exactly off plan. Like they're going to have bluebell ice cream with my special ingredient THM cake. No, we're not doing that.
I know.
Is that wrong? I don't care.
I don't know.
I don't know either. We're just going to leave it alone. It's fine. Like I said this morning, there's not any Trim Healthy Mama police. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We can all make our own decisions. We're big girls. Oh my gracious. Okay. So do y'all travel very often?
Well, my family's in Texas. So we travel at least once a year to visit family. Mm-hmm. But with our camp schedule, when we homeschooled, we had a lot more freedom because we could build our schedule around camp life. Right. But now we have school schedule and camp schedule, which do not really line up super well. So we don't have a ton of time to travel.
Yeah. Okay. When you do travel, are you able to stay on plan or is it kind of a difficult process?
I went this summer cross country to visit friends in Arizona, and I did really well. There were a couple of meals that I gave myself some grace because they were, when you're staying with people and they're taking care of you, there's only so much you can ask, right? But those were choices I made, and I did not. I think I came home and I had lost weight.
That's awesome.
So I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. It just takes planning.
Yeah, it does.
But I was driving cross country eating cucumbers and
that's my girl.
Sticks. That's how I made it.
I love it. Did you take some of your kids with you?
No, it was just me.
Wow.
It was amazing.
So you could have done all kinds of things and no one would have known.
That's right.
I am so proud of you. Like that is huge. Mm-hmm. You go, girl.
Thanks.
For real.
Oh, it was good.
Teach us your ways. I love it. You just have to decide, don't you? You have to
absolutely
stick to your guns, and that it's worth it, and you're worth it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you doing the Bible study in Blooms?
I am.
Do you want to share a little bit about that? How it's affecting you, just however much you want.
Absolutely. I love it. I'm leading a women's Bible study, co-leading at my church. So, and then our camp staff is doing another Bible study. So I'm in like 3 Bible studies right now.
You and Jesus are tight.
We are growing right now, but it's been really interesting how they're all so entwined. And so it's kind of hard for me to know which.
That's okay.
What's what, but
that's the whole point of the Bible.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. That's perfect. I love it.
So, we're doing some deep diving down into the ugly parts of Kelly's heart, but it's been really good. You mentioned before about the girls, all of my girls leaving within a small time frame. And so I've just kind of found myself feeling a little bit lost.
Yeah, I bet.
I have worked really hard not to make family an idol, but I have always been a stay-at-home mom. I had some time where I was homeschooling. So, literally my whole life revolves around my family, and not necessarily in it's my idol kind of way. That's what takes my time. And so in this Bible study, food has always been, just realizing how food is what I go to for comfort, and it's not going to make me feel less lost. It's not going to, food is not going to give me a purpose. That's ever. Right. It will never give me anything. It will only rob me of my health and true joy. So it's not always easy to, I think, really look at how you got where you are, because there's so much there. But this study does a really good job of, I don't know, making you think about the stuff that you would rather
Don't
not.
want to. That's right.
Yeah.
Or the things you've forgotten, the things you've chosen to not remember. Yep.
Not me. No, if I forget things that are hard, but I remember things that hurt my feelings. Does that make sense? So
Yep.
I have a lot of specific memories, like things that people have said when I was like 4.
Wow.
That stick with me. And I think not necessarily things that I've forgotten, but things that I tried to make okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Just patterns and things,
But with those thoughts, because we talked a little bit, I think the first week, when one friend shared about she's in her 50s and she remembers something from first grade and that a family member told her and all of that. And I just kind of stopped and I was like, y'all, like, this is really convicting me about the things that I say in front of, about my children, and we're both moms of teenage girls. It's a hard place to be. Holy smokes. And, I've taught 2 mother-daughter THM groups, and they're kind of odd because I'm used to so much communication when I'm doing group coaching, that there's so many comments, but in those it's very quiet. And this time I was prepared for it. The first time I was like, they hate this, because there wasn't any interaction, but it was, I think the moms didn't want to say too much. And then the girls were like, I don't know what to do, but I do know, because I get evaluations. I strongly encourage them to do those for me so I can know how to better do later. But I know that they were blessed and I know that they learned. But I was convicted about things that I say to or about my children. During that Bible study that first week, I guess it was September 4th. And, I had to go apologize, because not all of my girls look alike. They're all trim. They're all healthy. Some of them have different shapes and different things about their bodies. And, you kind of make jokes sometimes, but I don't ever want them to feel less than out of my mouth.
Right.
But it is, I mean, and they make fun of me, and we have those times, but I don't ever. And the one that I apologized to, she was like, okay. She wasn't worried about it. I was like, I'm sorry. But it did help me. It did help me so much. But I think our society, our children are so blasted with all the outside media. And we have been, Wes and I made I don't know if you guys did this, made a very decision early on that the girls would not have social media. And all of that. Bella got Facebook just this school year to kind of keep track of homeschool things, because I'm so busy with work, I forget to go. And actually, this last couple of days, all the senior stuff that the girl in charge, she's been tagging me, bless her heart. I'm like, thank you. Just so I would see things. But, we did let her get that. And so we've just slowly. So I'm thankful they haven't had that influence, but they look at Pinterest and they have YouTube. So it's still there. And there's commercials on TV and all that. And then Lily, we let her get Facebook probably a year ago for her business with her art and her jewelry. Katie does not have that, but she does have Pinterest and she does have YouTube. And then, there's outside influences. They've been homeschooled since they were little, but there are some things that I think that have been, they've been exposed to, but not early as some kids. And so it just makes me really sad for the teenage girls as a whole, and boys, I'm sure, as a whole, to see. And it was like that when you and I were growing up too. Sure. You've just got all these people in your mind. But I think as trim, healthy mamas to these girls, I think that our example is huge.
Yes.
We're choosing. Sometimes we might seem like we're going overboard, making all the baked things or whatever. But I think it's important for them to see that you can make a coffee that's delicious and won't spike your blood sugar and cause issues in your body, and the why, kind of like when we talk about the birds and the bees and why you need to save yourself for marriage. Like, I think going to the why is important. That's what we teach in our home. Yeah. But I think the why with educating them about food. I loved From Healthy Mamas, the curriculum for children. I think that's really, really good. They went through that. And then just to hear them, Katie was my daughter that has alopecia. She was on my podcast, and shared about all of that. And I was just like, oh, it's like, I was so proud, Now my oldest, God love her heart, if you were to say which child is the least on plan, it would be her. The other ones, they tend towards that too. So have you seen that with your teenage girls, kind of with your example? Are they kind of following suit? Do they just do their own thing? That kind of thing?
So my oldest daughter that struggles with alopecia, we did the autoimmune protocol with her.
Oh, and so yes.
That was so much harder. I think THM is hard. Goodness. Correct. That one was difficult.
We've done it. We did it.
Yeah. So since then, she's kind of like, just decide. Well, she's in college, so I can't really, she has to decide for herself. So she does what she wants, and that's fine. Most of my kids do. My third daughter is more interested than any of the others, and so I'm being very careful in how I speak about it with her.
Yeah, because
she is very susceptible to. She's like me. She's very much like me. And I'm just trying to be careful and encourage education, not over results, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And I love the health part of it. I think that's very important. Nutrition, I love all that junk. I'm a little geeky when it comes to that stuff. And so I think pointing that kind of thing out is good. Like when they start getting sick, they're like, what kind of food can I eat to feel better? I'm like,
yes,
anything with color that God made, go for it. We can, that kind of thing. Yeah, for sure. And they'll, like Lily made a matcha, her little recipe of her little matcha drink, matcha latte. And Katie has a few recipes. I think it's sweet and fun. And, they have certain THM things that if we're having it, they're making it, and they will be offended if they are not the ones asked to make it. When I made the creamy chicken lasagna in group coaching, Lily came out and she was like, did you make my recipe? And I'm like, I made dreamy chicken lasagna. Sorry, I can't say it. And she was like, that's mine. I said, well, baby, they voted on it. I had to make it live in the kitchen. She was like, I could have made it. It's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. But yeah. And I'm sure I've messed them up in a bunch of ways, but I've tried. I've tried to be like you with the education. And, I'll show them my before and after. And so that I'm always I try to be careful, but at the same time, I'm doggone proud of that before and after too. And that I did it the best way, the healthiest way that I knew how, it wasn't Lord, they know I don't starve, it wasn't starvation. It wasn't, I don't count calories. I have a new client. She was like, well, how many of this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't count calories. That isn't what I do.
Yeah.
You're not counting calories in Trim Healthy Mama, which is freedom. It's
absolutely
freedom. It's such freedom. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, we got off on a tangent there. We probably ought to close up. Is there anything that you would like to share before we go?
Oh gosh.
Caught you off guard. I'm sorry. She got all relaxed. If you're just listening,
I did.
Got relaxed. Just listen to me run my mouth.
Gosh, I can't think of anything that I would share. But if you're on the fence about coaching, it is well worth the money spent. And Amy, your coaching is so very reasonable for what you receive and the personal time that you get. It's worth every penny. It's an investment in your health and your future. And I can't stress that enough. If you're struggling or there's something that you don't know how to do, find a coach. Yeah. Any coach, even if it's not Coach Amy, who I think is the best coach.
Oh, thanks.
Any coach.
But yes, that's right. They're all great. And I think it's important for women to find their match.
Yeah. But that was the turning point for me, for sure. Yeah. Just getting some help.
That's right. Real quick, on the things that we talked about, your okra anti-inflammatory kind of protocol type thing? I'm not sure if you did, but if you did, we're just going to repeat it. What was your progress since we started doing that? What have you seen change in your body that you don't mind sharing?
Yeah. Well, I've lost 4.5 pounds, and that's only
you
been
were stalled.
Yes, I had not gotten below a certain weight, and I'm 3 pounds below that now.
Wow.
I have not seen that number on the scale for 10 years.
Wow.
So I was having a lot of pain during my period cycle, and that was almost non-existent this time. And that in and of itself makes it worth it.
I think you shared that in Blooms, because one of my one-on-ones texted me about it. She goes, did I dream this? Or did one of those ladies say such as that? And I said, she did. She was like, whoa.
Yeah. It's been life-changing. So I'm definitely
reducing inflammation helps all the things.
Absolutely. I just don't think that we realize how many things are affected by inflammation.
It does. Yes. I have a how to reduce inflammation Zoom class replay if anybody would like to purchase that.
You should. I'm telling you. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Kelli. It was a joy. I love talking to you. So fun.
Thanks. I love you. Love you so much.
I love you. Do you want to tell them bye?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.